Welcome to Plan9Crunch Reads from a genre cult novel. I'm Doug Gibson. This week we're going to read Clive Barker. And the novella he wrote is Cabal, which is better known to genre fans as the movie Nightbreed, which is a story of a tortured man named Boone who discovers that he has a kinship with sort of night creatures who live away from humans under the ground. And this is a book that's so interesting because the monsters are the good guys in this movie. This book and movie. In the movie, David Cronenberg plays an evil character. The movie also had, Craig Wasson, I believe, played Boone. And Anne Bobby played his girlfriend, who both in the book and the movie will go searching to try to find her lover, to try to save him. And let me read a little bit from Cabal, which once again is Nightbreed in the movies. And I like this part. It gives us a little bit of introduction to the night creatures, the monsters. And so I'm going to take my glasses off and get a little close to this. Laurie felt no trace of fear. It was the other woman who trembled as she nursed her sunstruck hands, her gaze moving from Laurie's bewildered face to the animal. "I'm afraid it's dead," Laurie said, not knowing what disease afflicted this woman, but recognizing her grief from all too recent memory. "No," the woman said with quiet conviction. "She can't die." Her words were statement, not entreaty, but the stillness in Laurie's arms contradicted such certainty. If the creature wasn't yet dead, it was surely beyond recall. "Will you bring her to me?" the woman asked. Laurie hesitated. Though the weight of her body was making her arms ache and she wanted the duty done, she didn't want to cross the chamber. "Please," the woman said, reaching out with wounded hands. Relenting, Laurie left the comfort of the door and the sunlit patio beyond. She'd taken only 2 or 3 steps, however, when she heard the sound of whispering. There could be only one source, the stairs. There were people in the crypt. She stopped walking, childhood superstitions rising up in her. Fear of tombs, fear of stairs descending, fear of the underworld. "It's nobody," the woman said, her face pained. "Please, bring me Babette." As if to further reassure Laurie, she took a step away from the stairs, murmuring to the animal she'd called Babette. Either the words or the woman's proximity, or perhaps the cool darkness of the chamber, won a response from the creature. A tremor ran down its spine, like an electric charge, so strong Laurie almost lost hold of it. The woman's murmurs grew louder, as if she were chiding the dying thing, her anxiety to claim it suddenly urgent. But there was an impasse. Laurie was no more willing to approach the entrance of the crypt than the woman was to come another step toward the outer door. And in the seconds of stasis, the animal found a new life. One of its claws seized Laurie's breast as it began to writhe in her embrace. The chiding became a shout, "Babette!" But if the creature heard, it didn't care to listen. Its motion became more violent, a mingling of fit and sensuality. One moment it shuddered as though tortured, and next it moved like a snake sloughing off its skin. Don't look," she heard the woman say. But Laurie wasn't about to take her eyes off this horrendous dance, nor could she give the creature over to the woman's charge, while the claw gripped her so tightly any attempt to separate them would draw blood. But that "don't look" had purpose. Now it was Laurie's turn to raise her voice in panic, and she realized that what was taking place in her arms defied all reason. Jesus God! The animal was changing before her eyes. In the luxury of slough and spasm, it was losing its bestiality, not by reordering its anatomy, but by liquefying its whole self, through to the bone, until what had been solid was a tumble of matter. Here was the origin of the bittersweet scent she'd met beneath the tree, the stuff of the beast's disillusion. In the moment it lost its coherence, the matter was ready to be out of her grasp, but somehow the essence of the thing, its will, perhaps its soul, drew it back for the business of remaking. The last part of the beast to melt was the claw, its disintegration sending a throb of pleasure through Laurie's body. It did not distract her from the fact that she was released. Horrified, she couldn't get what she held from her embrace fast enough, tipping it into the mourner's outstretched arms like so much excrement. Jesus, he said, backing away. Jesus, Jesus. There was no horror on the woman's face, however, only joy. Tears of welcome rolled down her pale cheeks and fell into the melting pot she held. Laurie looked away toward the sunlight. After the gloom of the interior, it was blinding. She was momentarily disoriented and closed her eyes to allow herself a reprieve from both tomb and light. It was sobbing that made her open her eyes. Not the woman this time, but a child, a girl of 4 or 5, lying naked where the muck of transformation had been. Babette, the woman said. Impossible, Reason replied. This thin white child could not be the animal she'd rescued from beneath the tree. It was sleight of hand or some idiot delusion she'd forced upon herself. Impossible. Impossible. All impossible. She likes to play outside, the woman was saying, looking up from the child at Laurie. And I tell her never, never in the sun. Never play in the sun. But she's a child. She doesn't understand. This is a marvelous novella. Barker also wrote The Hellraisers and I believe many, many other books. So I urge you to read Cabal. It's a fascinating, wonderful tale. And also see the movie Nightbreed, which I think is a lot better than a lot of people think. It's a really excellent film. I think Nightbreed is free on Tubi. And you can find Cabal at your local library or just buy it at eBay or Amazon. So once again, this is Plan9Crunch Reads. I'm Doug Gibson, and that's a wrap.